According to new reports, Duane Martin and Tisha Campbell have filed for bankruptcy and are over $15 million in debt.
Well, it seems that debt might have taken everything that had the actor's name on the receipts, and even he knows it's his fault. The reason why I did all the things that I've done is because I just would drop something and go, yeah, I want to do that. Duane Martin wasn't the only one who suffered the consequences of his action. Even his ex-wife had her own side to tell.
Do you feel it was really important to tell this story?
Well, first of all, I felt like, when I was watching, I was like, I said all that. I felt, completely exposed.
Hollywood is tagged by many as the land of opportunities, and for the most part, that claim is true, only that the opportunities you have as expectations may not always be what you're faced with. You could say this was the case with Duane Martin's career, because while everyone looks him up and sees a well-versed and decorated actor, Martin has his own share of problems coming up over the years. You'd think problems in this context would be strictly tied to his professionalism, but the reality was far from that, as he also had marital and friendship problems on his way. And all of this happened while he was on top. Now, considering that the man has remained relevant till today, you could say he really hasn't let any of the bumps along the way keep him down. However, what most people may not know is that Martin at a point in his life had it so bad that he pretty much hit rock bottom and lost everything he had. Seems far-fetched for someone who attained that level of success right while losing everything he worked for. Was only the beginning of his run-in with unconventional problems in the industry. The second part of these problems we're talking about here is a little more complicated. While losing everything is the worst nightmare of several creatives out there, the stakes are much higher when you find out that Martin was also caught up in allegations of being on the DLI. I mean, we've all heard the different stories about different celebrities not being as straight as they've paraded themselves to be over the years, and while in many cases those are nothing short of just that stories, the tales about Martin are slightly different today, as there seems to be a witness to the claims. What's more, the said witness even name-dropped another celebrity who already previously made the news with Duane for claims of them having a secret relationship. I know many of you already have an idea of who I'm talking about, but let's save a little surprise for the people that don't. Speaking of people, the net was about Duane's involvement with one of his own boys, coupled with the stories about how his life has been filled with some of the most intense ups and downs many people have ever seen of a celebrity, has had several fans talking. For the most part, these talks have been motivated by shock on the part of the fans, as many of them didn't think this man, who has stayed at the center of the entertainment industry for so many years, did so while fighting so many internal and external battles. The rest of the fans, however, seem to believe Duane has never been honest about his realities, with some claiming he's been a liar since day one. I'm not here to tell you which of these fans have the correct notion about the man, but I have a strong feeling that you'll be able to answer that question on your own when you see the details of his life, so stay tuned till the end. I've had lots and lots and lots of money. I've had little money. I've had medium money. It doesn't change me today. Tell a vision and what's hot on the big screens are a mix of all the different genres. But back in the 90s, the case was a little different. At the time, it was mostly drama comedy shows, and guess who was one of those leading the demographic at the time? Well, in truth, it wasn't just Duane Martin. There were a lot of other comics, but Martin had a pretty unique touch. Martin today is seen in the same light as several of the entertainment industry's icons. That didn't happen by accident, as the actor has proven himself over the years by delivering stellar performances in virtually every project he's touched. While that led him to become one of the most successful creatives of his time, it seems it was that same virtue that landed him in trouble. Not only did he land himself in trouble with his then-wife Tisha Campbell and their friends, but there were also claims that the actor was involved in a scam, all of which came after he stopped landing roles. This might sound bad right now, but believe me when I say that is only the beginning of this very dark cave we're entering. For starters, in the tumultuous landscape of the 2000s housing market, Duane Martin and his then-wife Tisha Campbell found themselves entangled in a web of financial woe that seemed insurmountable. The tale kicks off back in the early 2000s, when this dynamic duo, Campbell and Martin, decided to dive headfirst into the treacherous waters of home ownership. Aurora Bank became their financial ship, sailing with a whopping $700,000 loan, aka a commitment that would later cast shadows over their fiscal destiny. But before they could even embark on a victorious journey of repaying this colossal sum, life had a curveball ready for them. Fast forward to 2008, a year when economic uncertainties were playing havoc. Undeterred, our protagonists Campbell and Martin rolled the dice once again, this time hitching their wagon to City National Bank for a substantial loan of $625,000. Little did they fathom that the housing market was geared steeing up for a catastrophic meltdown, a seismic financial quake that would reverberate across the nation, leaving homeowners everywhere gasping for financial air. Sadly, our protagonists weren't spared from being entangled in the web of this unfortunate twist of fate.
50 million people had mortgages roughly at that time out of 75 million homeowners. When that bubble burst, it hit home to probably 40% of the households in the country, these people that had mortgages on their house.
As the housing market crumbled, so did the dreams of Campbell and Martin. Unable to bear the weight of their financial obligations, the once cherished home became a looming symbol of their struggle. In the tumultuous year of 2012, their haven was mercilessly auctioned off, a desperate measure to quell the relentless debt owed to Aurora Bank and make some amends with City National Bank. Despite this last-ditch effort, a significant shortfall lingered, pushing Campbell and Martin to the edge of financial despair. The storm intensified when a formidable lawsuit thundered down upon the couple, demanding a staggering $400,000, echoing the unresolved debts and the relentless grip of accrued interest. The weight of this legal battle cast a sinister shadow over their once hopeful horizon. Years trickled by, but the financial strain showed no mercy, compelling them to seek solace in the protective arms of bankruptcy, a bitter pill to swallow for a couple once riding high on dreams. In early 2016, Campbell and Martin made the difficult decision to file for bankruptcy, a move born out of necessity rather than choice. Voice in a public statement, they candidly shared their plight, revealing the circumstances that led them to this drastic step. We got involved with some loans before the crash and couldn't agree to a settlement with the banks, so we filed to reorganize, they explained, shedding light on the complexity of their financial predicament. However, their journey through the labyrinth of financial challenges was far from over. Amidst their bankruptcy filing, allegations surfaced accusing the couple of hiding assets to protect themselves from creditors. The accusations, detailed in a report by Daily Mail, painted a picture of a desperate attempt to shield their wealth from the prying eyes of bankruptcy trustees. According to the report, the appointed bankruptcy trustee raised concerns about a company allegedly created by Campbell and Martin. This entity served as a conduit through which Campbell's earnings from her work on Dr. Ken were funneled. Disturbingly, it was alleged that some of these payments were mysteriously withheld by her agency, raising suspicions about the couple's financial transparency. From then on, things didn't get any easier for the couple. In fact, their situation took an even more bizarre turn. In November 2016, a glimmer of relief appeared on the horizon when it was reported that the presiding judge had discharged the bulk of the couple's debts, offering them a chance at a fresh start. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as though the dark clouds of financial uncertainty were finally lifting, bringing with them a sense of newfound optimism. However, for Duane Martin, the elation proved to be short-lived, as another storm was brewing on the horizon. By 2020, Tisha Campbell's divorce from Duane Martin was finally settled. Ultimately, neither party received either spousal or child support and split custody of their youngest son, Ezekiel. Their eldest, Zen, was an adult by this time, while Martin still walked away with some profits from the sale of their home. Campbell was left empty-handed, nothing in the bank. Nothing. I had maybe $7 to my name, and I was scared it was like I was starting all over, she admitted to Entertainment Tonight in December, looking back at the direction his life took. Several people wonder how Martin even ended up in this situation in the first place, as the actor seemed to have the most promising career among his peers at the start of his run. And that's a big deal because he didn't even start out as an actor. An accomplished athlete throughout his youth, Martin attended New York University, where he played NCAA Division III basketball. In fact, after graduating in 1989, Martin was briefly signed as an undrafted free agent to a guaranteed contract to play for the New York Knicks in the NBA, but was soon cut and never actually played in a game. In place of a career as a professional athlete, Martin opted to follow his passion for acting and almost immediately landed his first on-screen role in the pilot for a series called More, which was aired as a TV movie. When the show was not picked up, Martin would appear in White Men Can't Jump 2 years later, where he put his athletic experience to work, helping co-stars Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson play basketball in the film with greater virtuosity. However, all that trajectory was cut short by the series of problems the actor got himself into. The worst part of it all, though, was that he didn't only get himself and then wife into those problems, he also roped in his friends. Remember the bankruptcy claims and divorce I talked about earlier? Turns out there's a lot more to unpack there. According to law enforcement officials, they became privy to Duane's shady financial moves after Tisha filed for divorce from him in February and discovered her estranged hubby concealed and diverted valuable assets in their bankruptcy case. Specifically, it was revealed that Duane Martin had received a substantial loan of $1.4 million from his close friend, the renowned actor Will Smith. The loan, facilitated through the Smiths Company, was intended to be a lifeline for Martin, a means to navigate the treacherous waters of financial instability. However, what followed was a shocking twist that would strain the bonds of friendship and catapult the pair into a high-stakes legal battle. Duane Martin, instead of using the loan for its intended purpose, embarked on a fraudulent